Hello and welcome to Tar Heel Teachers at Home. I'm Marlow Artist, moderator of the program and proud principal of Craven Early College in New Bern. Tar Heel Teachers at Home is an interview series focused on engaging North Carolinians in conversations around education. Each week, I'm happily joined by a wonderful panel of educators, each one representing a particular subsection of education. We'll start our introductions with our elementary school co-host.
Good afternoon. My name is Amy Tart, and I'm the assistant principal at Union Elementary School in Sampson County Schools.
Hello, my name is Natalia Mejia. I am the NCAT 2023 North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year. I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade multilingual students at C.C. Griffin STEM Middle School in Cabarrus County.
Hey, I'm Laura Bailey. I am the principal at Scotland High School in Scotland County. That's in Laurinburg, North Carolina.
Thanks for being here.
And good evening. My name is Mazetta Dorsey. I am Cumberland County Secondary Science Curriculum Specialist.
Awesome. And we appreciate you being here as well. We're really excited with this wonderful panel that we have with our permanent co-host and our special guest co-host as well. For this episode of Tar Heel Teachers at Home, we are in for a treat, everyone. We are chatting with Dr. Marvin Connelly Jr. Dr. Connelly is the superintendent of Cumberland County Schools. He has served in that position since 2018, and he's also the A. Craig Phillips 2024 North Carolina Superintendent of the Year. Please welcome Dr. Connelly to Tar Heel Teachers at Home. Dr. Connelly, thank you so much for being on the program.
Thank you, Dr. Artist. I'm happy to be here with you this evening and talk about all the great things happening in Cumberland County Schools and across North Carolina.
Awesome, Dr. Connelly. And so let's start right there. Dr. Connelly, how would you describe Cumberland County Schools to individuals who haven't had an opportunity to visit your school system?
Cumberland County Schools is a very innovative, forward-thinking school system. We're not a system of schools. We are a school system where we all collaborate together to help our students be successful. Here in Cumberland County, our strategic plan is a live strategic plan, a living document, where we focus on 4 major things: successful students, premier professionals, accepting environment, and committed community. That makes us a great place to learn, live, and teach.
Absolutely, Dr. Connelly. And I know that you all reference your strategic plan and all of your priorities and initiatives to make sure that you do have that alignment. There's so many great things happening in Cumberland County, and we're going to talk about those things. I do want to ask you, Dr. Connelly, give us an overview of your career. You started your career 31 years ago as a teacher assistant. How did you move from a teacher assistant all the way up through your current role as superintendent of the 5th largest school system in our state?
Well, Dr. Artist, I really had not planned to be an educator. I was in the military, in the 82nd Airborne Division and in Iraq. And when I left the military after Operation Desert Storm, I went to visit a school, specifically a special ed classroom with a friend of mine, the late Marvin Pittman. And Marvin used to run the statewide Anthony Conference in Greensboro that many of you have been to. And Marvin said, come on, Marvin, I want you to visit a school. It was Carroll Middle School. And we went and visited a BED classroom, now SED, but then it was BED classroom. It was in the back of the school in a trailer. And nobody was in the room but a small, petite, Caucasian teacher and 8 African-American boys. And they were giving her a bid, giving her a run for her money. And I visited the classroom, and she asked me to talk to them about my experience in Iraq. So I started telling them war stories about my time in the military and time in Iraq. And believe it or not, they settled down, got quiet, were all intrigued in my stories I was telling. And most of them were true. Some of them I had to embellish them a little bit to get their attention. But at the end of the day, I'm getting ready to go, and the teacher said, "Hey, Mr. Honey, can you come back tomorrow and volunteer again tomorrow?" I said, "Well, sure." I was on vacation, leaving the military, didn't have anything ready to do. I was planning on going to DC and look for a job, because I was a military intelligence officer. So I was hoping to work for the CIA or something like that. Well, after the second day, he said, "Can you come back again?" So a week later, I'm still volunteering. And then a month later, I'm still volunteering in this classroom. And the principal came in and said, "Hey, sir, would you like to come and work for us? We have a vacant TA position." I said, No. I'm not really looking to work right now. I'm just enjoying life. So after about another week, he said, "Well, while you're here, volunteer, we just pay you. That TA salary, as long as you'll be here anyway. I realize you may not stay." I said, "Well, sure, fine." After about 2 months of that, the district special ed office called me and said, "We understand you have been volunteering, you've been a TA out there. We want you to visit another school." But they sent me to visit Longview School after being at Carroll Middle. And Longview was Wake County's alternative school for meeting these students, middle to high. And the principal there said, "We want you to come here and be a teacher." I said, "Well, I don't have a degree." "No problem. You can do lateral entry and go back and get a degree." So by this time, I have fallen in love with serving students with disabilities, especially students with behavior challenges. I mean, I was having a ball. So I decided, why not? I took the job as a teacher at Longview Alternative School, went back to NC State, got a master's in special ed. I stayed at Longview for 9 years.
Wow.
And then after that, the principal, Ms. Catherine Santos, was leaving, going to be the principal at Athens Drive High School. And I didn't know it, but she had told the superintendent that she would only take the job if she could choose her own assistant principal. She came back to the school in Longview, said, "I'm leaving." I said, "Oh, no." She said, "Oh, yes." And she said, "And guess what?" I'm like, "What?" She said, "You're doing with me." I said, "To do what?" She said, "She's my assistant principal." I said, "Well, I don't have that degree." "No problem. You can go back to NC State and get the degree." So I went to Athens Drive, went back to school and got my MSA at NC State. At the time, they had just got the program back. So I was the only student at NC State get the MSA all by myself. I was the only MSA student at NC State. They had just got the program back. So I was assistant principal at Athens Drive for 7 years. And then one day, the superintendent, Dr. Bill McNeil, called and said, "What do you think about Wake Forest Middle?" I said, "What about it?" He said, "Well, I want you to go there and be the principal." I'm like, what? So off I went to be the principal at Wake Forest Middle, Wake Forest Road to Middle. I was there for 7 years, and then the area superintendent, Nanny Martin, called me and said, "Hey, we're opening a new high school, Nightdale High." I said, "Yeah, I heard about that." He said, "Well, I'm choosing the principal." I said, "Oh, good for you." And he said, "Well, you will be that principal." Oh my goodness, So off the Nightdale High, I went to be their first inaugural principal. Later on, the superintendent changed, and Dr. Bill Manil was there then, and then after that, Dale Burns, Dr. Dale Burns was becoming the superintendent. And he said, hey, I need a new assistant superintendent for special ed. I said, yeah, I heard about that. He said, well, I think that ought to be you. So what are you going to do? Tell the superintendent, no, I was having a ball as a high school principal, but I love administration, policy, the laws around special ed. There was an opportunity for me to do that. So I went to central office, and then later on, different superintendents came in, and then Jim Merrill became the superintendent, Dr. Jim Merrill. And Dr. Jim Merrill said, I need a chief of staff. I'm creating that position, you know, and I want you to apply. So I applied, really wasn't thinking about it too much, and lo and behold, I became the chief of staff of the largest school system in North Carolina, the Wayne County Public School System. And after serving there from 2012 to 2018, I was planning on retiring. And really hadn't planned on becoming a superintendent. But then when Cumberland came open, I was contacted and said, you ought to apply for Cumberland. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna retire. But then the more I thought about it, you know, military town, my children, two of my children were born at Fort Bragg. We were a military family. I prayed about it, sought the Lord's guidance. The Lord said, this is where I want you to be. So in 2018, I came to Cumberland County, and 32 years later, Dr. Artist, I tell people I'm still volunteering.
I love that. Such great experiences, Dr. Connelly, in answering that call. Dr. Connelly was selected out of 31 applicants to become the superintendent for Cumberland County Schools, and he has served honorably in that position since 2018. In 2024, he was named the A. Craig Phillips North Carolina Superintendent of the Year. What questions do we have for Dr. Connelly?
I can go ahead and get it started. First of all, I want to say thank you so much for your service, not only in the military, but also as an educator. That's absolutely phenomenal. So thank you, sir, for that. And congratulations on your award. So you've already mentioned your Cumberland strategic plan. It talks about 4 priorities and actions: successful students, premier professionals, exceptional environment, and committed community. Which of these pillars do you see already aligning itself? And which of these do you think will require maybe more support so that it can fully embody the ideas of the strategic plan?
Thank you very much, Amy, for that question. You know, I feel like that in Cumberland County, we have a strategic plan that was written, Natalia, by the community. And those 4 pillars are really all intertwined. We're making lots of progress around our premier professional objective. That's not only trying to advocate for improving pay for educators in North Carolina, but also the way we treat people in Cumberland County. It's not just about the money, but it's about the environment, how we treat them, premier professionals, from the superintendent to the bus driver, classroom teacher, principal. We focus on how you treat people. That makes a difference in any career path. So, premier professional, we try to treat everyone like a premier professional, but everyone matters in Cumberland County. Under the exceptional environment area, we are a high poverty Tier 1 district, so we need lots of improvement in our facilities. But other things beyond the facility falls under exceptional environment. Discipline, safety, all those things fall under exceptional environment. So therefore, we focus on improving those areas. But one area we continue, as most districts across the country, to work hard on is successful students. We're making great progress coming out of the pandemic. We still have a ways to go to improve academic, social, emotional, and mental behavioral outcomes for students to help them be successful. But here in Cumberland, it is all hands on deck to help students experience success and be successful and graduate as successful global citizens.
Thank you so much, sir. And just a follow-up question to that, the trajectory of your career as an educator, and also becoming a principal, and then also your job as a superintendent. When we look back as a community at your legacy, what would you like us to say that your legacy is to all of us?
I think that Natalia, I want people to remember how I treated them. I'm a firm believer that all of us one day are going to leave this earth, and on our tombstone will be 2 dates, a birthday and a death date. Most people won't remember our birthday. Very few people will remember our death date. But that little bitty dash in the middle represents who we were, how we treated people, what people thought of us. So I'm not concerned about people remembering my birthday, my death date, my awards, and all that. I want them to remember that little dash, how he treated people. That's what I want my legacy to be. And Mahalia Jackson said it best. If I can help somebody as they pass along, if I can cheer some traveler with a word or song, then my living shall not be in vain.
Thank you, sir. That was absolutely beautiful. And it's amazing to see how you embody one of the pillars in your own strategic plan, that premier professionals, how you treat people. It's beautiful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Natalia.
Dr. Conley, you have such a legacy, and I feel like I have so much to learn from you. I am a first-year assistant principal. So what advice do you give to someone that's just coming into leadership and taking on that new role?
Thank you, Amy. I believe that every leader, regardless of what your role is to lead well where you are. If you lead well where you are, you'll never have to apply for a job. People will come after you because of your leadership and leading well where you are. Some people spend too much time worried about the next level and the next job, and they don't do a good job where they are. So I would say to assistant principal, do a good job where you are, and people will come after you to move up to the next level. And above all, keep the main thing, and that is curriculum. You might have all other jobs, the 3 B's, buses, books, and butts, but make sure beyond the B's, you learn the C, and that is curriculum.
I'm so glad you said that. I've definitely dealt with the 4 B's a lot this semester and over the first year. One thing I also saw that I really was intrigued about is the Spark Lab that you guys started in Cumberland County. I saw that you guys had a program for them to learn about artificial intelligence, esports. Can you talk more about why you wanted that program and why you think it's important for students today?
It's important for students to look into the future in terms of what STEAM is about: science, technology, engineering, the arts, and mathematics. I don't believe, Amy, that any of us knows what technology will look like tomorrow. So this STEM lab is important for us here in Cumberland, but we want to make sure that the Smart NC lab sparks children's excitement about technology, the interest, to spark interest in the technology fields. It's located at Douglasburg High School, but any student, any high school student in Cumberland County can access that smart lab. It's about sparking innovation in technology in the minds and the hearts of students to inspire them to look to the future and what might be possible in the area of technology.
Thank you. I love how you have so many different doors and avenues open to all students to learn. So I know that there's some great things going on in that Spark Lab and across Cumberland County.
And I would like to piggyback on that question from Amy. Currently, coming up, K through 12 science curriculum is going to make a major shift. And with those new adoption of the new standards that will be coming in, it's going to require our science teachers to implement scientific and engineering practices, which is quite different from what they're doing now in the classroom. So from your standpoint, Dr. Connelly, what can schools do to ensure that our students have those experiences that they're going to need to have in order to understand those standards?
I believe, Mazetta, that we need to get rid of all the desk rows of desks in science classrooms and labs and turn them into real labs. What a lab looks like in the hospital, what a lab looks like in the corporate world. They're not rows of desks. That was the industrial age. We're in a new age. Students have got to collaborate, and I also believe that we have got to embrace AI, artificial intelligence, in our science labs. And we don't really need to have any more science classrooms. We need to have science laboratories, and then they look like laboratories when you walk into them. And the student interaction in the laboratory needs to look like a laboratory looks in the real world. So that is where students are headed.
Thank you so much, Dr. Connelly. And I'm looking forward leading that with all the other science leaders that's within our county to ensuring that our students will receive those experiences no matter where they are in the district, where they're getting education that's standard aligned with that new technology of AI, as well as empowering them to collaborate and be the very best they can be in all science classrooms.
Thank you, and I look forward to you leading that work, Mazetta, and we know that sometimes the doctors in Chapel Hill may be online virtually with doctors at Johns Hopkins while the patient is right there in surgery. So I look forward to how you will pivot Cumberland County so the students at one school will be learning at the same time virtually with students way across the county, and they all collaborate on the same project at the same time. That's the science classroom of tomorrow.
Dr. Connelly, I was having a conversation with a staff member today, and I was sharing with them that 24 years ago, I went to a job fair in Cumberland County, and I actually stood in line to talk to people at that job fair. And you talked about one of your goals being premier professionals, but I think that we all know that staffing our schools is a high priority for everyone. But can you talk to me about some of the things that you guys are doing in Cumberland County to retain and recruit high quality teachers?
Thank you, Dr. Manley. In the area of retention, and goes back to something I said earlier, we're focusing on how we treat people that we have, take care of the people that we have, and encourage them to stay with us and stay in the field and improve their environment. Make sure they have an exceptional environment. And then our fourth pillar of our strategic plan is committed community, embracing the community, that the community help us take care of our educators to ensure that we retain them. And then in the area of recruitment, what we spend a lot of time on now is developing our high school seniors that are graduating, who are interested in going in the field of education, we give them a contract for employment when they graduate from high school and tell them go off to college, spend 4 years, get your degree, we'll work with you in the summer, we'll help you in the summer. You already have a job with Cumberland County. So we're growing our own teachers. We had students this summer, high school students, who worked in our technology department as interns, worked in our operations department in maintenance and operation as interns. So throughout the system, we had students working in our finance department as interns. So we are growing our own here in Cumberland County in hopes that they will not know the Stockton, not know the West, not know the Durham, but come right here back to Cumberland when they graduate from college.
Thank you. I love that. And living in a small town now, the majority of our teachers are people who grew up here. So I definitely see the importance in that. And I just feel like we're having less and less people go off to college who want to be teachers. So I think that's great how you guys are trying to target them and grow them to come back and work for you. So thank you.
And Dr. Connelly, can you also talk about growing your own school leaders? You also have the partnership with NC State. So talk about that. I mean, you certainly are Wolfpack yourself, and you've been able to bring that partnership to Cumberland County Schools to make sure you all have highly effective school leaders.
Not always as part of our pipeline of education, we have multiple levels. We have a pipeline for students to teachers to assistant principals to principals, and we have a partnership with Phillips State University, UNC Pembroke, Methodist University, and NC State. The NC State partnership is fairly new for us. We're on our third cohort. In the first cohort, we had 15 teachers that went through the NIDA program, and we were able to hire 13 of those 15 teachers as soon as they got their MSA to be assistant principals here in Cumberland. The other two went to another district, but guess what? The year after that, one of them came right back to Cumberland.
Yes,
so
she did.
14 of the 15 are here in Cumberland as assistant principal right now. Part of our grow your own effort. And then I'm a Wolfpack graduate, three degrees from NC State. So of course, when I learned we did not have a partnership with NC State, I was like, what in the world? So we had to have one with NC State.
That's great. And one last thing I want to ask Dr. Connelly, can you talk a little about this? Because superintendents are tasked with assembling a cabinet and that senior leadership. What's your approach to hiring and really building that senior leadership team? Because that's a really important avenue for you to be able to really kind of execute the vision that you have as superintendent and being able to really make sure these priorities come to life.
One of the things that we do in our pipeline here in Cumberland County, we try to fill the pipeline from the classroom to the boardroom. And with my cabinet and my senior leadership team, I provide training to aspiring central services staff. So I had Dr. Larry Homo come in and provide training to my leadership, assistant superintendents, executive directors, area superintendents on cabinet level leadership and how to be that cabinet level leader. And Dr. Homo provided training here in-house. And I had principals in that training as well, principals who had a desire to one day become central services leader. So we're preparing the bench for the next round of central services leaders and cabinet leaders as well. So that when there's turnover, inevitably there's turnover. You have a bench, you prepare people. Now, it doesn't mean that we believe in nepotism and don't ever hire anybody from the outside. We have, and we do, hire people from the outside as well. But we're not going to sit around and wait on people to retire or wait on people to do something different and then say, oh, Lord, who do we have? No, we're preparing the bench, empowering people, giving them the skill set, giving them the training before they might need to be considered to move into that role. So it's about ensuring that your entire pipeline from the classroom to the boardroom is well prepared to step into the next role. And then back to something that I think Natalia asked earlier, helping them lead well where they are, and let us take care of preparing you for the next role.
Yes, and I really appreciate you sharing that, Dr. Connelly, because it's so important that leaders have that preparation pipeline and have those services in place because we really have to ensure that we have great leaders in our schools and also at the district office as well. For the last question, Dr. Connelly, this has been such a treat to chat with you, and you certainly will have to come back. Dr. Connelly, where do you see Cumberland County Schools in 5 years?
In 5 years, it's certainly my hope and my prayer that Cumberland County will be fully recovered from the pandemic in all areas, academically, student behavior. We know student behavior is off the charts. Some adult behavior is off the charts. So I hope that socially, emotionally, mentally, everyone has recovered fully from the pandemic. I hope that we are a high-performing district, leading the state in all areas, academically, as well as socially, emotionally. And I also hope that people will continue to move to Cumberland County to increase our tax base so that our commissioners are able to fund Cumberland County schools in a much higher level. And we're no longer a high poverty district. We are a military district with 15,000 military connected students out of our 50,000. So as Fort Liberty continues to grow, Cumberland County continues to grow, it is my hope and dream that we will continue to grow as well as a district, and we want the highest performing district in the country.
That's fantastic. We certainly will be watching. And with a leader as stellar as Dr. Connelly, we know those things certainly can happen. Let's give Dr. Connelly a wonderful round of applause. It's been a great discussion. We really have appreciated it. We also would like to thank our audience so very much for watching our program. We hope that you will engage us on our social media platforms. Please like our Facebook page. Please follow us on Twitter at Tar Heel Teachers. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Visit our website, tarheelteachers.com. And on all of our social media platforms, please use our hashtag Tar Heel Teachers so we can find all your great comments. I would like to thank our wonderful group of co-hosts for joining us for this discussion: Amy Tart, Natalia Mejia, Laura Bailey, and Mazetta Dorsey. And once again, we'd like to thank our special guest for joining us, Dr. Marvin Connelly Jr. He is the Superintendent of Cumberland County Schools, and he is the 2024 A. Craig Phillips, North Carolina Superintendent of the Year. We look forward to seeing you next time on Tar Heel Teachers at Home.